Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special kitchen edition of Tales from the Quarantine for day number 9. So I have just finished up my evening class of the night, and because I'm irresponsible, I waited until the last minute to start cooking dinner. So that's what I'll be doing for today's episode, special kitchen edition. You get to see a different part of the apartment. So I'll be cooking for today's episode. Today's day 9. First of all, got some. I'm trying to spell in here. Got some chopped up peppers. I found ever since I've gotten to Mexico that I enjoy cooking with peppers than I did than I did before. So step 1, we got peppers. But talking more generally, today was sort of weird for me because I basically did the reverse of what I usually do. So usually in the mornings I'm super unproductive and I usually just sit around playing video games or something to that effect, basically not doing anything until like noon. But today was the exact opposite. I was super productive in the morning. I got up, I had my morning class, 7 a.m. to 8:30, and then after that, I had a very quick breakfast because, I do need to eat, I am a human. And I had a very quick breakfast and then went immediately to work. I finished a whole module in my online course. I finished up a bunch of work stuff. Today was the last day of my morning class, so I had grades to put in and test to grade and all that fun stuff. Teachers will know that yes, it's one of those days. And then like 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock came around. I was starting to get hungry, so I ordered some food for lunch. And I was like, okay, well, I'm watching, I'm eating lunch. I'll watch an episode of Cheers. I like watching stuff when I eat. So I was like, I'll watch an episode of Cheers while I eat. Then when I'm done, I'll go back to working. Well, I finished my lunch, and I was feeling that sort of way that you feel after you've just eaten. Kind of full, kind of sleepy, not really wanting to do much. Everybody in the world has been telling me that I need to watch Tiger King for the last few days. It's basically the only thing that I've been seeing on Facebook and Twitter, besides political stuff, for the last few days. So I finally watched the first episode of Tiger King. And that, needless to say, was very interesting. I only watched the first episode, so we'll see how this goes. But I watched the first episode of Tiger King, and then I got a text from a friend who was asking me if I wanted to play video games, and I was like, well, there goes the afternoon. So I played Battlefield for a while with a friend, and then I had a video call with my parents, and then now I just had class, and then I just got done with class, and so that ended up being the whole day. But I'm okay with it, quite frankly. So in the U.S. at least, maybe not the same situation here in Mexico. But in the U.S., the social distancing guidelines were extended until April 30th, which is another month. So all of the indications are sort of telling me that this is going to last for a while, and so there isn't an immediate need to be super productive with all my tasks here. So that was my day. It was very strange. It was like if anyone watches Seinfeld, I felt like I was Bizarro Daniel. Everything was happening in reverse. But yeah, that was my day. It was a good day. Feel pretty good, actually. I think that there is a larger sense of doom, which is incoming in the next few days, just because it's getting clearer and clearer that, well, we're going to be here for a while. And so you're stuck watching episodes of me talk for 10 minutes for a while. And that's obviously a concerning fact. I mean, I think at the beginning of this whole thing, everybody thought, well, at least I thought, that this was gonna last for about 2 weeks or so. I don't know why I got that 2 weeks figure stuck in my head. I think it was because that's what everybody was saying you needed to do if you got sick. Like, that's how long you needed to quarantine. And so I just, I got it in my head that this was going to be about a 2 week venture. And that, yeah, I was like, hey, it's going to suck being quarantined for 2 weeks, but it's 2 weeks. I mean, whatever. There are enough video games and books and movies and whatever. There's enough stuff, basically, to keep me occupied for 2 weeks. But now that we're really staring this thing down in the face, it's really looking like it's going to be more than 2 weeks. And, well, I'm not going to lie, that concerns me a little bit. But I suppose if there's anything that I learned, or that I have learned throughout this venture, it's that, and actually I learned this, maybe not learned, but sort of had this idea reinforced by a meditation app that I've been using. So I didn't get this specifically for the quarantine. I got it a little bit before, but it's certainly come in handy or been very helpful since the quarantine. It's called Calm. They have these basically short, they call them the daily calms. They're basically just daily guided meditations which sort of focus on one aspect of life or another. And the one today happened to be about acceptance. And, I think it was just useful to hear from someone that, in times of crisis or in times of, difficult situations, it's helpful to just accept the situation as it is. If you can't change the situation or if you can't leave the situation, basically the only option you're left with is to accept the situation. And that's kind of where I am. I've got my financial situation handled. I'll be starting this new online job on Thursday. First payout should come on the 10th, I believe. Although it may end up being May 10th, which would suck because it only pays once a month. So I've got my financial situation handled. I've got enough stuff to keep me occupied. By this point, I figured out sort of like video calling schedules with people. Basically I've got a routine. And so if we're going to be here for a while, the way I see it, might as well just sit here and get comfortable. Because it doesn't seem like I have any other options. So that's where I'm standing. Feeling good overall, feeling like I've got a grip on the sort of quarantine routine. But on the other hand, looking forward, things are looking a little bleak. And, sort of struggling to get a grip on that. There is a fly that has been bugging around here. So that's where I am today. I hope everyone is doing okay out there. Keeping a grip on things. If you're not doing okay, I would like you to reach out to me. I'm a social fella. I like talking to people. And if you need something, if you need anything, if you're not feeling good, if you're not doing okay, reach out. I'd like to chat. So yeah, that's day 9 of the quarantine and tales from the quarantine. So I hope everyone had a good one, and I will see you tomorrow for day 10, getting into the double digits. Very exciting. All right, folks, I will see you tomorrow. Bye now.